Hi everybody! Today I'm gonna show you a game called the Exiled Siege. This is a game currently on Kickstarters. It's 2 weeks away from the project's end, but it's the founding goal is already reached. So the game will come out. I hope that this small preview will convince you to hop in and back this game, because I think it's really cool. This is a tower defense game. We are the exiled. We are the outcasts that are trying to prove that we are still loyal to our king. We land on some new land that we are trying to colonize. We try to build the city there. But of course there are some native people there that don't like us, and they will try to kick us out. They will set waves and waves and waves of units and trying to defeat us. Our goal as the defenders is build the city and defend it for 4 rounds. And of course you can play as an attacker and try to kick out the exiled. This is a game for 1 to 5 players. There's a solo mode, but I'm not gonna talk a lot about it. I think there are some really cool mechanisms here. The game looks beautiful. It's actually a reimplementation of the game from Kickstarter from last year called The Convicted, but it's shorter. The Convicted was about a campaign spanning across multiple games. This is a pretty quick game, 19, maybe 2 hour long. So let me show you how it's played, and then I will briefly talk about what I think about it. The first thing you'll probably think when seeing this game is, wow, there is a lot of going on here and it's probably very difficult to get into. Actually, it's not that difficult. I was really surprised how easy it was to grasp how it's played from the rules. But as you can see, there are a lot of components. We've got buildings that we're gonna build. We've got some tokens representing siege towers. We've got a lot of cards. That's the main core mechanisms of the game. Here we have wooden cubes that represent units, but if the project will get to a stretch goal, $35,000, it's not that far away, those will be plastic minis. 119 plastic minis that will look gorgeous here. Defender arrives here. Here they will build a city, but they are weak at the beginning. They only have 1 barracks, some units that arrived here, so they will build city here. They will build maybe some keep, maybe chapels, another workshops. Of course they will need some walls. So here, as you can see, during the game you will see how the city is growing, how it is built. Later, you will even have an opportunity to upgrade those walls to more solid walls, even maybe some brick walls that will be better for defending the city. And during the game, that's pretty cool, how you will see how your city will grow here. Each building has a level, and each of those buildings have 3 levels. The bigger level, the better statistics, of course. We of course have a capacity, how many troops we can send there. And sometimes, for example, for this tower, we will also can have a place for such things like catapults, or maybe throwing rocks, and cauldrons, etc., etc. Everything you need to defend the city. As an attacker, here you can see your camp that you will also have an opportunity to advance, to upgrade. During the game, the attacker will move their units to the foreground and moving towards the city. On each of those fields you can see also a capacity, how many troops there can be, how many siege engines, catapults, etc. And both on the board and on the city tiles you can see a place for activation markers. Every time your units will fulfill an order there, you will place an activation marker showing that this round you can give another order for units there. The game will last maximum of 4 rounds, and if at the end of the 4 round the city is still standing, it still has durability, the defender will wins. If during those 4 rounds the city will lose all of its durability, of course the attacker wins. So let's talk how the game is played. Each round consists of 2 phases. First, we have a development phase, when we will train new troops, we will breed new monsters as an attacker, we will build new camp locations, the defender will build their city locations and also train troops. At some point during the development phase, the assault will begin. When it will begin, it depends on the attacker, and then we will go to the siege stage. Each development phase starts with an attacker choosing 11 of his development cards and putting them in an order he wants to use them. The order cannot be changed, so it's like programming the order the attacker the siege phase. Somewhere in those 11 cards the attacker will put assault card, meaning that the development phase will end and we will go to an assault phase. This card can be anywhere from second to the last card, so the defender don't know when the siege, when an attack will begin. If the attacker will want to just quickly train some weak troops and send them to attack, or maybe he will try to develop more power, more force, and then attack. It's very interesting decision that the attacker has. Of course, the defender will also prepare his development stage, and he will also try to plan when he or she will build new locations, build walls, maybe some build earthen fortifications, repair the broken walls, build machines, train troops, etc, etc. I'm not gonna go into much of the details how each of those cards work, but I'm gonna show you one clever mechanism here. For example, if you want to build, for example, a workshop that will allow us to build some war machines, first we have to build a first level workshop. To build it, we have to plan a build card. When we flip it, we'll see, okay, the defender will say, I'm building the workshop. But later, for example, if you want to upgrade barracks, we start with a level 1 barracks. The higher the level, the more troops you will have an opportunity to train. More about it in a moment. If we want to upgrade workshop to the second level, we have to plan 2 build cards in order. So when we will flip the first card, we can say, no, I'm not gonna use this build to build a new location, a new building. I'm gonna wait, and in the next turn, if we will flip another build card, now I have an opportunity to upgrade the barracks to the second level. And of course, if I want to upgrade later in the game the barracks to the third level, I have to plan 3 build cards, one after another. It can happen that the attacker will start an assault between one of those 2 cards. It's okay, I have some markers that I can mark the building that it's during the upgrade, and in the next round I will have to play only 1 card to upgrade it to the 3rd level. I show you a train card. Here, if the barracks are the 1st level, I can train 1 armsman. So of course I want to have the higher level of barracks, because then I can train 3 armsmen and or 2 archers, and on the third level 5 archers, 4 archers or 2 swordsmen. So the more troops is better, of course. But as the same as with building, I have to plan more train carts one after another if I want to build more buildings. If I want to use the third level train cart, I also have to have a third level of barracks. So basically that's how the development carts work. It's really easy to plan those actions. They are not that difficult to understand. And it's pretty cool trying to figure out what's the attacker's plan for this round and trying to adjust to it. The same goes, of course, for an attacker. The same rules. If I want to train more troops or higher level troops, I have to plan more the same cards one after another. Now let's go to another fun part of the game, assault. Attack. When the assault card is flipped from the development deck of attacker, the siege phase will begin. We have some cards that will use to resolve our orders, our attack. We start with some basic order cards. Those cards, of course, are used to give orders for our troops to move, to attack, to shoot at will, like this one. We've got some special cards that can make our orders stronger, more efficient. And we have some reaction cards that we can play as a reaction to our opponent's action, to our opponent's orders. So, at the beginning of the assault phase, each player will take all the cards that order, special and reaction cards that he or she has, because some of those cards are basic cards that we start the game with, and the other cards we will unlock by building our buildings. Some cards are special. For example, Defender starts with a hero, and the hero has some special cards that he or she may use during the game. In the box there are 4 different heroes that the defenders can choose and play with. So each player will take all of his attack cards, all of his special cards and all of his reaction cards. The same, of course, goes to the defender. Now the attacker and the defender, or defenders, because if you play with more than 2 players, you have one attacker and multiple of the defenders, will choose, not draw, but choose what cards they want to take as their starting hand. We can take up to, as an attacker, up to 6 order cards, 4 special cards, I will just draw them, and 4 reaction cards. The defenders will take their cards depending on the number of the defenders that they are playing. They will take more or less cards, and those cards will form the starting hand. After choosing the cards for their starting hands, the attacker will deploy their forces that he or she trained during this round and deploy on the foreground starting areas. Then the defenders will deploy their units to the areas. It's worth mentioning that once you deploy units to one area, you cannot add units to the areas during the deploying forces phase. So you have to be very careful about thinking how many troops you want to deploy to certain areas. Now the attack phase begins, starting with the defender and alternating between the defender and the attacker, another defender, attacker, another defender and attacker. Players will play the order cards, special cards and reaction cards to give orders to the troops they have. In each round we have 4 turns during the attack. In each turn I will play a card, an order card. Also, I can play a special card that it's not visible yet for the defender. The defender can play a reaction card. Next, we will flip the special card and see the actions that we can take. Each order card has 3 levels how it is efficient. To see how efficient is our order, we have to draw 1 card from the efficiency stack. And efficiency stack is nothing more than our development cards that are shuffled and placed next to the board. When we have to draw 1 card from the efficiency stack, we take development card and we see what number is at the bottom of the card. Here, for example, is number 2. So my order, shoot at will have an +0 to attack for my battle group. If I draw a card with 1, my battle group will have an attack that is less, -1, and if I draw a card with 3, my order, my group will attack with more strength. Each order card can also be played as a move order, so we can move our troops closer to the walls, and probably in some moment play an assault order card to attack the walls. Each time I give orders to my units, I have to play an activation marker. For example, if I move my units from here to here, I place an activation marker on this foreground. It means that this round I cannot give another order to those units. The same goes for the defender. He can move from wall to wall to shift the units from one place to another, to maybe defend another place that a lot of attacking units are gathering. After the discarding the used order cards, special cards, etc., players will refill their hands, and of course if the stocks are depleted, we shuffle up the discarded cards and then we refill hands with as many cards as we have to. Combat phase will end when all of the zones on the board will have an activation markers, meaning that we can no longer give orders to our units, or if both players pass one after the other, then we go to reorganization phase. If there are any surviving units here on the assault zones, they will have to retreat. We take all the activation markers from the board and we play another round of combat phase. We will repeat 4 times the combat phase and reorganization phase, and then we will go to another round. As for attacking goes, it's really simple. We take the attacking strength of our units versus the defense value of the units we are gonna attack. We have this reference sheet for the defender and attacker, and we can see what attack strength has each unit, how it will defend against melee attack, range attack, and maybe siege attack. So we calculate the attack value versus the defense value. Of course, the walls will give some bonus to the defending units, and we see how many units are killed. If all the units are killed and there are no units defending this side of the city, we will decrease the durability of the city. If the durability will go to 0 at the end of the attack phase, well, the defender will lose. If at the 4th round the city is still standing and has at least 1 durability, well, the defender will win. There are more details to this game, but I'm not gonna talk all about them. There are battering rams that we can attack the gate, and there are many special cards and reaction cards that are working with each other. But basically that's the whole game. So let me tell you a little bit what I think about it. That's the game. To be honest, when I saw the Exiled Siege for the first time, I was scared, because there are a lot of components here, a lot of cards, but I was really surprised when I read the rulebook that it's pretty easy to understand, and there were some ideas that I liked from the first reading of the rules. Those ideas are, of course, preparing the development deck. I really like this. I really like that the attacker has to make the decision when to attack, how to prepare to this attack, and the defenders have to think about it, looking at the board, deciding how they will prepare their defense. That's really neat. The attack phase is really working very well. These three cards, the order, special and reaction cards, are really good way to dealing with orders, what's happening on the board. The attack, it's pretty simple, it's some basic math. It's really cool to see during the game how the city is building, how it's developing, how the buildings are changing. The graphics are really cool, that each building has 3 levels, and each level has a different graphics, and you can see how the city is building. I didn't play this game as much, but I'm looking forward to my next gameplay. I didn't play this as much because I wanted to show you the game before the Kickstarter campaign will end. So if you are interested in this kind of games, the tower defense games, the theme is interesting to you, I would say go and back it up. I hope that the stretch goal will be unlocked, and those wooden cubes will be replaced with minis, because everything is better with plastic minis, right? But painting 119 off. Right, so it's really interesting title. It's pretty fast, it's 2 hours of gameplay. So once again, if you think that it looks interesting, go back it up. It's the Exiled Siege. Thanks, and see you around.